guys, my name's Chloe, otherwise known as Princess Aspian, and welcome to my channel. Just be me. Look how cute my top is. It says positivity on it and it was like $2 from H&M and I love it and I just think it's the cutest thing ever. That's not what we're talking about today. So, fun fact, I was homeschooled, which honestly probably explains a lot. Homeschooling was a vital part of my life and I genuinely believe that I would not be here today if I wasn't homeschooled. But I get people asking me about homeschooling literally all the time. Whenever I say I'm homeschooled, I instantly get one of two reactions. I either get a bumload of questions or odd looks. So I thought this would be a really fun opportunity to do a video about homeschooling assumptions and homeschooling myths. Partially, I want to do this as a fun video because I think it's fun and I think some of the stigmas are quite funny and very, very stigmatized, and also some of them are very, very true, which we'll get into. But then I also want to do it because I know that a lot of people that watch my videos, a lot of mums and dads that watch my videos, hi, how are ya, could possibly considering homeschooling as an option for their child, because I know that a lot of autistic kids really don't fit in well with mainstream schooling, so homeschooling is an option that a lot of people look at. But because of the stigmas, because of all the different ideas around what homeschooling is, they're kind of hesitant to do it. Recently on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, which you guys can follow me down in the description box below, I posted a couple of questions asking you guys what your stigmas on homeschooling are and what you believe homeschooling is. And I got some interesting responses. So we're just gonna get into it. All homeschoolers are socially awkward and shy. That's true. Unsocial. True. Weird. Also true. I'm not helping my case here. Personally, yes. But also, I mean, have you seen me at a Harry Styles concert? Like, that's not, I mean, it's still awkward, but it's certainly not shy. We'll be riding on the horses. Yeah, you miss out on valuable social skills and the ability to have a friendship group. Ah, this is what I want to talk about. So, a lot of people have this stigma that if you're homeschooled, it means you're never going to interact with anyone. It means you're going to be like socially excluded from everything. It means that you have no friends, that your friendship group resides within your parents and your siblings. That is a complete lie. I was homeschooled because of severe bullying at school and because of me not working well with the school system. When people said to my parents, oh, taking her out of school is awful, she's never going to get any friends like that, I had no friends anyway, so you can't really have less friends than zero. But the moment that I was pulled out of school, I started being able to do things in my own time, in my own environment with people that I felt comfortable with, and for the first time I actually found friendship groups while I was being homeschooled. I found friendship groups within horse riding groups and church groups and surfing groups. Friendship doesn't have to come from school. Really the only thing that you have in common with those people at school is that you live within the same district and you're all the same age and in the same year level, but you really have no actual similarities other than that. Whereas when I got into friendship groups, when I met friends, it was friends that I had the same interests with because that was the sole reason I was there in the first place. It's actually a lot easier to make proper lifelong good friends while you're homeschooled because you meet people that you want to meet. I know homeschoolers that have gone to Deb or prom if you're in America. Homeschoolers still go on excursions, they still meet other kids, they still do every single thing that a mainstream schooler does. They just get to do it in the comfort of their own house. So no, saying that homeschoolers are completely unsocial and have no hope of friendship is wrong. You are wrong. An excuse to get out of school. We still have work and it's still hard and it's still schoolwork. All homeschoolers are bird watching Christians. Well, I don't go bird watching. You can't get into uni. False, not correct. I don't know about every single homeschooling program because I know that there are a lot out there. I did something called distance education, which is the exact same as a normal mainstream public school. We have teachers for different subjects, we do the same books, we have the same curriculum, we still do everything that anyone else in my year level would do at a normal school. We still did tests, we still had exams, report, ATAR levels, still had to complete year 12, we still had everything. You can still do all of that through homeschooling and it really does not make a difference to about what uni you get into, what jobs you get into. It literally does not make a difference whatsoever. So false. Parents force their children to be homeschooled when the child doesn't actually want it. We have 5 kids in our family, 2 of which are homeschooled and the rest of them go to a normal school. All of them at different schools, all of them for their own abilities and what works best for them. I was the first one in my family to get homeschooled. It was a very big decision and my dad was very, very much against it because he was very much, this is how we do things, this is the normal way of doing things, this is how we do things. And it wasn't until we spoke to a lot of different people and really like worked over our options until we realized that like, yes, homeschooling is best for me. One type of schooling system isn't necessarily going to work for everyone, and that's okay because we're all individuals. I look at it this way: when you're a grown-up, when you're an adult, when you're in the workplace, not every single adult has the same job and learns the same way and does the same thing. So expecting kids to do the same thing it doesn't make much sense, does it? Homeschooling works really, really well for me and my younger brother and doesn't work so well for my other 3 siblings. And that's just the way it is, you know? You do school with what works for you and what works for your family and what works for that individual child. All homeschoolers are gifted or naturally intelligent. Why, yes, we are. Homeschooling works for everyone, no matter who you are, no matter what you are, no matter what your intelligence level is. You could be like up here or down here, it doesn't matter. We're all different and special and wonderful in our own way. Homeschoolers do not learn as much as public school students. Wrong. If anything, friends that I have who did homeschooling as opposed to public schooling actually seem to kind of have a deeper understanding of the way that the world works. Ooh, tea, controversy. This is obviously going to be different for everyone. I had friends that did ACE, which is Australian Christian Education, I think, and their books were completely different to mine. Like all of their books, like I'm talking all of their books were Bible related. If a maths book says like, what's like 12 minus 2? And a normal book would say that. Their school books would say, if Jesus had 12 disciples and 2 went astray, how many disciples would Jesus have left? I'm not kidding. It was nuts. But they learned, they graduated, they're brilliant people now, their lives are great. But with my homeschooling, I had the exact same curriculum as any other public school would. We had identical things to anyone else. If I spoke to anyone else who was my age level, who was in the same year as I was in school, we were literally doing the exact same work. But I would usually have completed it a couple of months before they did because I could do it in my pace. When you're at a school, you're there for like, what, 6 hours a day? I could do 6 hours worth of work within half an hour to an hour because it wasn't spread out through like lunch breaks and recesses and 25 kids in a classroom. I could just smash it all out. So homeschoolers not learning as much as public schoolers, wrong. You're wrong. All homeschooled kids are spelling bee champions and child prodigies. I was actually selected for like this Australian television show called like Spelling Bee or something like that. I was in the first round and I got out because I spelled, I don't even remember what the word was, but it was like a 5-letter word and I spelt it wrong. So no, you're wrong. The fact is, homeschooling students range in ability just like any other mainstream school students would. Some kids that are homeschooled are extremely gifted and extremely talented. That could be why they're being homeschooled. And then there's kids that are just pretty average that do homeschooling, and then there's kids who struggle a lot. And the good thing is, because it is one-on-one when it's homeschooling, you can actually focus your attention on the things that that kid needs help with or do things that that kid is better at. It's easier to see what the weak areas are and focus your attention on that and really drive into learning that more. Whereas in a mainstream schooling system, a lot of kids will get left behind because you go, oh, like you're struggling with that, doesn't matter, we need to move on, there's 25 other kids in the class who we need to help out. Figure it out yourself, which isn't great. There is every single type of ability and reasoning for homeschooling, just like there is in mainstream schooling. Homeschooled students don't watch TV or listen to mainstream music. No, false. Have you seen my obsession with One Direction? Maybe that's actually why I have an obsession. The only difference between a mainstream education and a homeschooling education is where you learn. Everything else is the same. You cannot pick a homeschooler just by looking at them, just by seeing their interests, just by seeing them. There's no difference. Homeschoolers never actually do any work and they just get to hang out and play all day. I'll admit I mucked around a little bit in school, but like who doesn't? Being homeschooled does not make us inept from failing and staying down a year level. So if you goof off, have fun graduating, have fun being in prep when you're 18 years old. In order to homeschool your child, you must be a stay-at-home parent. Neither of my parents were stay-at-home parents when I was getting homeschooled. In fact, my mum was working and doing university at the same time that I was in year 12. So, no. And that's a really big reason why a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be able to homeschool my child because I know it'll be best for them, but I don't feel like we can manage because I can't quit my job. You don't have to. Some do, and some parents do full-time school their kids, which is brilliant, but it's certainly not a necessity, and it's certainly not something that makes or break a homeschooling student. I would stay home and do my work, and mum and dad would give me a list of the tasks that I had to complete that day before they got home, or to leave it aside for when they got home after work, and then we would sit down on the couch and they would help me through with it afterwards. You certainly don't have to dedicate every single second of your day into homeschooling your child, especially with the type of homeschooling I did. I know it's really, really common now for homeschooling to be done by actual teachers that you just happen to not see face to face. So I had teachers for every single subject. I think I had about like 8 or 9 different teachers, so I could contact them. So my parents didn't have to be in the picture at all. Obviously it helped, and obviously if I got stuck, it was really great to have them around, but it's certainly not a make or break situation. All right, that is all the questions that I have got for this video. I don't know, I hope this kind of helps you see a little bit, or at least, I don't know, entertained you a little bit. These are just some of the questions that I've received about homeschooling and a couple of the assumptions that I've heard about it. Kind of wanted to unassumption you. Let me know if you guys like this video, and if you would like me to do any other assumption type of videos on any subject. I don't know, let me know. I was homeschooled and I am very proud of it, and I am very happy to be a homeschooled child. If any of you guys are homeschooled, do let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to talk to you and meet fellow homeschooling weirdos. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you did like it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I don't mind. Do whatever makes you feel happy. Do whatever makes you feel good, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Just be